Hey guys, welcome to video 4 of the motion fire training. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make the fire respond to really fast movements, right? Because if it's wiggling around, you can't add like super short elements to fit each motion. We're gonna do a little trick to make the fire respond to fast motions, right? Right now, it's not responding. It looks like a pole. Over here at Motion Fire, we don't allow no fire that looks like a statue. It needs to respond to motion. Well, let me show you exactly how to do that in this video. Well, we're going to use the time displacement effect. And to do that, we have to make a time displacement map. In this case, it's going to be a gradient. So right here, it's going to be gray, and over here, it's going to be white. So over here, the time is going to be displaced into the past, and that's going to create the wiggle motion response to the fire. So let's go ahead and create the time displacement map. And I hit Control Y to create a new solid, or Command Y for our Mac people. And then let's add gradient ramp to this new solid we just created. Gradient ramp effect. So we want the start point to be right here and the end point in this direction. So this the fire over here is going to be displaced in time. And to make this fire right here not be displaced at all, we got to make it gray, right? Because the gray is right in the middle, and it's not going to displace in the future or past. It's going to be right in the middle, which is the present. So that's why we make it gray. Next thing to do is make this gradient follow the motion of the burning object. We have the null object right here that defines the motion. So what we're going to do is we're going to use an expression to link the start of ramp to the tracking position parameter. So we're going to click on the tracking, hit P to open the position parameter, and then we're going to add an expression to the start of ramp. So hold alternate or option on Mac and click on the stopwatch. That's going to create an expression. We're going to grab our pick whip, go down here and choose the position of the tracking. Alright, so now the value of the start ramp is going to be equal to the value of the position parameter because of that expression. And while we want it to follow the motion of this null object, we want to be able to shift the position manually. So to do that, we want to go to our expression and add plus value at the very end. Plus value. And right now the value is like over 1,000, so we just want to turn this to 0 so it goes back to the position it was at, so it's plus 0. And now we can just manually shift the position. It's still going to follow the motion of the null object. Alright, now we do want the endpoint to also follow the motion of the null object, so we're just going to add an expression to the end of ramp parameter and link it to the start of ramp parameter. Okay, well right now they're in the same spot, so we also need to do plus value to make us be able to shift the end of ramp parameter. Again, we can turn it to 0, 0, so it does plus 0. This right, what you see right here is the value, so if we turn it to 0, it's going to do plus 0, so it's going to go back to where it was before. Alright, and then we can just change the value to shift it, just like that. Now, we are finished with our time displacement map. Now we are ready to apply the time displacement, so let's go ahead and turn off this layer. Let's go ahead and create an adjustment layer for the time displacement effect, and we'll type in time displacement in our effects and presets. Go ahead and apply time displacement to that adjustment layer. And for the time displacement layer, we want to choose the time displacement map we just created with the gradient. And it's very important that you turn the source to effects and masks so that the time displacement sees the gradient. If you don't have effects and masks, it'll think it's just a solid layer and it won't look at the effects we applied to it, like the gradient. So you can already see a little bit of time displacement here, and if you see, if we shift the start point, it's going to affect where the time displacement is happening. The time displacement is way too strong right now, so let's turn it a lot down. In fact, it's actually going in the wrong direction, so we want it to be like this. You can see, aha, there's that wiggling motion. There is quite an obvious problem, which are these bands, or like little displacement steps, and you basically just want to turn up the time resolution frames per second, just like that. And the more you turn it up, the slower the render is going to be, but we can definitely manage about 900 resolution, like that. Maybe there's a little bit too much time to play displacement, so let's do like negative 0.05, and you can see that the fire now responds to those fast motions. That is incredible. Now, if you're still seeing chop bands in your time displacement, it might be because you pre-rendered out your fire, and in that case you want to enable frame blending and then turn on your frame blending for your fire pre-render. I'm going to turn it to this setting right here, and that'll help with your banding. Okay, and that is exactly how you make the fire respond in a real fast motion. Oh! Please remember to leave me a review of this Motion Fire product. When you go leave a review, it's going to show you some free visual effects resources that are going to be highly useful. Your feedback does matter, so I know how to improve MotionFire. I know you're going to create something awesome with it. Be sure to crush it. Make today a great one. My name is Lyndon for Visionary Fire, and until next time, I'll leave you to create some awesome shit. That's a bad word. Okay.